Hey guys, it's Cabs. I'm doing something different from a uh gaming video today. So my last video that I did was a Goosebumps the game video from the Switch, and one of the one of the comments was from New Goosebumps. Pretty much, I'm going to be reading one of the stories that he has uploaded onto his um, channel and kind of do it in the chapters. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay? Alright. So the name of this is Mr. Wood's Revenge, and it's by a mad mathematician. Okay. Chapter 1, Prologue, 1912. It was a bright and sunny day, a rare thing as you may know for England. An audience had gathered in front of a stage that had been set up outdoors as a makeshift theater in their small village to see what the slender, frosty, white-bearded elderly man, dressed as a magician, standing beside a tall, shiny black box with a large door in the face of it, was up to. Mahar, the magician, with a grin on his face, called out to the people gathered around him, "Who has the nerve to ride my transporting machine?" A young, short, plump man wearing a swirling scarlet cape and two top hats, one inside the other, eager to volunteer, in response, holds his hands up. Mere moments later, the young man is standing inside the black box as it spins around and round. Mahar yells out to the audience, "Now don't turn your gaze, for you might miss the gentleman's disappearance, and possibly his death, at the expense of his trick, should something go wrong." The audience shivers in worry as they hold their breaths through each spin. However, the young man inside is fearless, with an inclination of curiosity as his expectations for real magic are what he searches for. Then suddenly, to the surprise of the man inside, the floor gives away and he falls to a basement below the stage. A contraption of some sort? With a confused face, the young man says to himself, puzzled, "Guess it's all some sort of trick, but a good trick indeed." Now mumbling as he listens to Mahar open the empty black box following the cheers of the audience. Now for my last act, I ask everyone for complete silence as I attempt to do the impossible by bringing to life my best friend, Mr. Wood, Mahar said as he slowly walked off. Mahar grabs a bright red hair ventriloquist dummy wearing a red and green flannel shirt with blue denim jeans and white high-top sneakers, and places him on a wooden stool towards stage left, slouched upright facing the audience and hunched over with his head weighted towards the floor. Mahar places a wooden chair stage right and sits in an awkward-looking mimicry stance of Mr. Wood. Moments pass with the audience growing anxious, confused, or bored as they stare at the back of Fran's sunken head laying in between his legs, arms lying dead. Suddenly, the magician raises his left arm, and Mr. Wood then raises his right arm, mimicking Mahar. "Can I get a welcoming round of applause?" Mahar says as he raises his head while being greeted with clapping applause from the audience. "These jokers wouldn't know talent from torture," said Mr. Wood. "Knock, knock." Prince then makes a soft fist and knocks on his head, followed by a burst of laughter from the audience as Mr. Wood copies, only with a loud cracking sound. "Who's there?" said Mahar as suddenly the audience screamed. "A spitting top!" Mr. Wood yells as the magician finishes with a 720-degree head twist, mouth wide open. Mahar stands with Mr. Wood, both waving to the audience as he says, "That's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show." As Franz puts Mr. Wood back inside his case, he notices a black top hat beside his case and thinks nothing of it as he walks back to his audience, only to be stopped at the sight of a crowd gathering up front Then he proceeds to walk down the stage to join the crowd out of curiosity, peering in between bystanders, but then realizes the crowd isn't moving or speaking. Somehow, the young man from earlier had everyone under his control with the rocking of a pocket watch. Ooh. Neat trick, Fran said, but was met with an immediate reply from the hypnotist. Maybe so, but I'm sure you're more impressed with real magic. You may call me by my stage name, Can-Do the Wonderful, because I can do wonders. Wow. Wow. Just that name. Wow. Can-Do declares as he reaches for a pocket to pull out a scarf, and with a wave, a large red clock appears floating in front of him. He places the chain of the rocking pocket watch on the minute hand of the clock, which points to the 3 while still rocking in time. He then explains that this should buy him around 5 minutes of privacy to talk about a partnership between them before the pocket watch falls. Impressive trick, but why would I want to share a stage with you? Mahar questions. Can-Do takes off his hat and thrusts his entire arm completely through it. With surprise, his arm is not seen on the other side of the hat. No hole appears or any protrusions of any kind. Then the sound of 2 latches opening, followed by the squeaking of a case being opened and the thud of wood banging around. Then Can-Do retracts his arm from the hat, holding Mr. Wood in hand. I'm sure there is plenty we can teach each other, Can-Do explains with a grin on his face as Mahar is baffled in disbelief. Prologue, 1913. On a rainy and stormy night, loud, unrecognizable words are ringing backstage in the theater. Karu Mari Odana Loma Malonu Karano. Can-Do yells as he waves his black wand with white tips towards Mr. Wood. Silence takes over as Can-Do waits in anticipation for signs of life. Look, I know you're there and can hear me. I need you to understand your current situation with your master. The dummy's eyes twitch, then his head tilts up and says, Keep talking, slave. Can-Do stands and points his wand at Mr. Wood, declaring, I brought you to life and I can take it away at my will. Mr. Wood's hands shot up, outstretched as he replied, Easy now, Pops. Don't punish the ignorant. Tell me more about this fellow you call my master. Franz Mahar is an evil sorcerer who makes a living as a performing magician, with you finishing as his comical relief act. It's beyond embarrassing how he treats you on stage, making a mockery of your existence. Here, look at this billboard poster. There is your master making a fool of you, Can-Do explains as he points to an image of a standing Mr. Wood knocking on his head with his fists, titled The Great Mahar. How long has this been going on? Questioned the dummy. As long as I've known friends, and you're set to be humiliated again tonight at 10 p.m., which is in just a few hours, Can-Do confesses. We'll see about that, Mr. Wood declares while standing up. Tell me everything about this great Mahar guy. Let's start by giving you his first name, Franz, Can-Do mutters. A crowd in standing ovation cheers as the magician on stage calms the audience and begins to open the latches to Mr. Wood's case. Out pops Mr. Wood as he sits up, pushing the case open, and assaults Mahar on stage. As the audience gasps, Franz, knocked down and startled by what he had just witnessed, runs off stage as laughter fills the audience, followed by applause. Franz stands and pauses in hesitation to collect Mr. Wood's case, but leaves it, and the dummy on stage while instead choosing to take Can-Do's large black case. I'll teach him a lesson for making fun of me. He looks so old and fragile, Mr. Wood thinks as he chases after Mahar but loses sight of him. Franz rushes into his large shiny black box and begins to spin the device with a push on the doorframe. Mr. Wood grabs the doorframe of the spinning box to slow it down. The dummy appears inside only to see an empty shell and ponders. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? What am I supposed to do now? The audience is unable to contain their enjoyment at the skeptical. Mahar flees England for a ship to America while Mr. Wood follows behind the next year. After Kendu learns of his case being stolen by Mahar, he never returns to see Mr. Wood, avoiding his appearance at all costs. Alright, you guys, that does it for chapter 1. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a storytelling, and let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to continue the story and read the next 4 chapters, because right now there's only 5 total. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. New Goosebumps, his channel is in the link description down below, and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye!